Hello. So before we get to writing some scripts, there are a few more operators that I want to talk about. So this right here is the greater than operator, and this actually returns something which we call a boolean. So a boolean is basically just a true or a false value. So if I hit enter right now, it's going to print false. And if I do something like this, the operator that I've used is greater than equal to, and this is going to return a true. And similarly, I have operators like less than, and I have less than equal to, um, and I also have so for checking equality, we use two equal to's. Um, these right here are two equal to signs. So if I use this, it gives me a false, whereas if I use this, it gives me a true. And the not equal to is something like this, an exclamation mark followed by an equal to sign. So that is not equal to, and it gives me a true because 2 is not equal to 3. But if I do something like 2 not equal to 2, it gives me a false. So these are some of the operators, and there are also three more operators which can actually be used to join these conditions. So I can do something like 2 greater than 3 and 2 greater than equal to 2, and the AND operator says that both of these should be true for it for the entire expression to be true. So because this one is false, it's going to give me false as an answer. But if I do something like 2 greater than 1 and 2 greater than equal to 2, this will give me a true. And the next one is, as you might have guessed, is the OR operator. So what the OR operator says is that if either one of these is true, then it'll give me true. The only case in which OR will give me false as a result is when both of these are false. For example, in this case. And the last one that I want to talk about is the NOT operator. So not, as you might have guessed, it just takes one argument and it gives me the exact opposite result of what this condition would give me. So if I hit enter right now, it's going to give me true. So these are some of the operators that I wanted to talk about, and now let's just go ahead and open up a script. And here I want to talk about decision control, which basically means that there are a lot of cases in which a program must decide something based on some conditions. So for that we use something called the if else clause. So let's just do something like x equals 5, and then we'll check if x is greater than 4, which we know it is, but it might so happen that we might be taking x as an input from the user or something like that, and we might want to check the value. So the syntax to follow is that we use the if keyword, and then we use we write the condition here. um, we follow it with a colon, and in the next line, as you can see, this text editor right here has already given me one tab space here. So if I go back here and I hit tab, that's where I'll get. So the block of this if, so what the block means is that all the statements that need to be executed based on this condition should be written with one indent, so one tab space. So here I can do something like print x is greater than 4, And so for the next line, I can actually write it with one tab space if I want want it to be executed only if x is greater than 4. And if I want it to be executed irrespective of the value of x, I can do something like this, print always. So this thing right here, because it isn't in because it doesn't have one tab before it, it's not in the block of this if. So if I save this right now, and I'll name this decision control, and let's just run this. um, so it actually prints x is greater than 4, and then it prints x, print always. And let's just go back to this and change the value of x to 3. Let's save it and run it again. So this time it just prints print always. It does not print x is greater than 4, and the reason for that is because x is not greater than 4. And next what we can do is we can actually write an else here, and all we have to do is follow it with a colon again. And here let's say print x is less than 4, and let's just save it and run it again. So this time it prints x is less than 4, and then it prints print always, which is outside of the block of both of these. So that's it about the if else statement. And we'll talk about loops. We'll talk about executing statements repetitively in the next video. So I'll see you there.